Leave settings. Now let's configure your leave settings. This is absolutely critical and should be one of your first setup tasks. Leave management affects employee satisfaction, legal compliance, and payroll accuracy. Getting this right from the beginning means happy employees and no disputes later. Let's set it up properly. From the settings sidebar, click on Leave Settings. Perfect. You're now on the Leaves Type Settings page. Notice at the top, there are 3 tabs: Leaves Type Settings, Leaves General Settings, and Archived Leaves Type. We'll work through the first 2 tabs today, as these are essential for your leave system to function. Let's start with the Leaves Type Settings tab, which should already be selected. This is where you define the different types of leave your company offers: annual leave, sick leave, family responsibility leave, and so on. Look at the table showing your leave types. You can see several columns: leave type, leave allotment type, know of leaves, monthly limit, leave paid status, department, designation, and action. In this example, there are already 3 leave types configured: casual, sick, and earned. Let's understand what each column means. Leave type is the name of the leave. You can see green, red, and purple indicator dots next to casual, sick, and earned. These color codes help visually distinguish different leave types throughout the system. Leave allotment type shows yearly for all 3. This means employees receive their full leave allocation at the start of each year, rather than accruing it monthly. Know of leave shows 5 for all 3 types in this example. This means employees get 5 days of casual leave, 5 days of sick leave, and 5 days of earned leave per year. You'd adjust these numbers to match your company policy. Monthly limit shows, which means there's no monthly restriction. If you wanted to prevent someone from taking all 5 sick days in 1 month, you could set a monthly limit here. Leave paid status shows paid for all 3 types. This means when employees take these leaves, they still receive their full salary. Some companies have unpaid leave types for extended absences. Now, look at the department and designation columns. These show extensive lists. This is powerful. It means you can restrict certain leave types to specific departments or job levels. For example, maybe only senior managers get certain leave benefits, or field staff get different allocations than office staff. Notice each leave type has edit and delete buttons in the action column. You can modify leave configurations or remove leave types you don't need. Now, let's add a new leave type. In South Africa, we have specific statutory leave requirements. Click the yellow Add New Leave Type button at the top. This would open a form where you configure a new leave type. Maybe annual leave, maternity leave, study leave, or family responsibility leave. You'd set the name, allocation, limits, paid status, and which departments and designations can access it. For South African businesses, you typically need annual leave, at least 15 working days per year, 21 calendar days. Sick leave, 30 days over 3 years, 10 days per year effectively. Family responsibility leave, 3 days per year. Maternity leave, 4 consecutive months. Paternity leave, 10 days. Make sure your leave types comply with South African labor laws. Getting this wrong can lead to legal issues. Now, let's look at the second tab. Click on Leaves General Settings. Excellent. This tab controls how your entire leave system operates. Let's go through each setting carefully. First, you'll see 2 radio button options about counting leaves. The first option is Count Leaves from the date of joining, and the second is Count Leave from the start of the year. This one is selected with a yellow radio button. What does this mean? If you select Count Leaves from the start of the year, everyone's leave allocation resets on January 1st, or whatever month you set as your year start. Simple and clean. But if you select Count Leaves from the date of joining, each employee gets their leave allocation based on their employment anniversary. So someone who joined on March 15th gets their fresh leave allocation every March 15th. This is fairer for new joiners, but more complex to administer. Most businesses use Count Leaves from the start of the year for simplicity, which is why it's selected here. Below that, you'll see year starts from with a drop-down set to January. This determines when your leave year begins. For most South African businesses, January makes sense as it aligns with the calendar year. But if your business operates on a different financial year, maybe April to March, you'd change this accordingly. Now let's read that important blue information banner. It says, note, approve means direct approval, pre-approval means another approval by admin/HR is required. This explains the approval workflow. Pay attention to this because it affects how leave requests flow through your organization. Below that, you'll see Reporting Manager can with a drop-down set to pre-approve. This is crucial for your approval process. What does this mean? When an employee submits a leave request, it first goes to their Reporting Manager. If the manager has pre-approve authority, their approval is just the first step. The request must then go to HR or an admin for final approval. This gives you an extra layer of oversight. If you change this drop-down to approve instead, the Reporting Manager's approval is final. No secondary approval needed. This is faster but gives managers more authority. For most businesses, especially when starting out, pre-approve is safer. It ensures HR always has visibility and final say over leave requests, maintaining consistency with company policy and legal compliance. Once you've configured your general settings, there's a Save button at the bottom to lock in your choices. Now let's quickly look at the third tab. Click on Archived Leaves Type. This tab shows no leave type added. What's this for? As your business evolves, you might discontinue certain leave types. Maybe you had a special COVID leave that you no longer offer, or you restructured your leave policy. Instead of deleting these old leave types entirely, which could cause problems with historical records, you archive them. They disappear from active use, but remain in the system for reference and reporting. You won't use this tab during initial setup. It's for managing changes over time. Why is leave configuration so critical? Because once employees start taking leave, changing the rules becomes complicated. If you set 10 days of annual leave and later realize you meant 15, employees who already took 12 days are suddenly in negative balance. And leave policies must comply with labor law. Mistakes can be expensive. That's why we emphasize get your leave types, allocations, and approval workflows right during initial setup. You can always add new leave types later, but changing existing ones affects active employees and historical data. Your leave management system is now configured and ready to handle employee time off fairly and legally.